Hello valued viewers, I hope you're all doing very well. We've got a really exciting new thing, or two new things, to show off to you. First, let me set the scene. In Grim Reapers, we've been doing lots of naval battles. We started with early 1990s technology, then we moved to 2000s technology, and now we want 2020s technology. So I sent a request to my friend Current Hill, who just happens to be a big DCS modder. Hello, Current.
Hey.
And I asked him, can we have the modern 2020s spec of ships in DCS to improve our naval battles? Can we have the Americans? Can we have the Russians? Can we have the Chinese? And he responded in typical brilliance, as he does. Today we have two brand new American ships to show off. In DCS core game, we already have a legacy Ticonderoga cruiser, and we have an Arleigh Burke destroyer, Flight 2A. Well, here I give you the upgraded and modernized Ticonderoga CMP and the Flight 3 destroyer. These are the ones that would be used right on the front line now in the 2020s. First, we're going to go over the facts and figures, and then we're going to shoot lots of stuff and show you some awesome new weapons. These will be publicly available to you valued viewers in the near future, so watch out for that. First, Ticonderoga class cruiser, CMP Cruiser Modernization Program. Features: it has navigation lights, it has custom weapons and ammunition configurations, animated weapons and radars, custom missile 3D models and textures, player controllable guns, custom sounds for weapons, damage model with visible damage, flag with wave effect, animated uptake hatches for the Mark 41 VLS, and compatible data link. Weapons and systems: an upgraded radar, the AN Spy 1, Mark 38 25mm MGS, that's a kind of Bushmaster type cannon, I think, two of them. Two Phalanx Block 1B, these are upgraded Phalanx. Mark 45 Mod 4 127mm naval artillery guns, two of those, one bow, one stern. AN SPG 62 fire control radars, and these are now animated, so they'll point at the targets, four of those. In the Mark 41 VLS are 45 SM-2 MR Block 3s, 32 SM-6 ER extended range Block 1 missiles, then SM-3 Block 1, 16 of those in the VLS, RGM-109E, so a new type of Tomahawk, Block 4, 13 of those, ESSM Enhanced Sea Sparrow missiles, Block 2, 64 of them, RGM-84 Lima, a new type of Harpoon, Block 2, 8 of those. There is a finite amount of missiles that can be carried on these cruisers, and this is the setup that we're going for. We've decided this is a good universal setup. A bit more detail about these weapons. First, the SAMs. RIM-162, Enhanced Sea Sparrow Missile, Block 2, it's anti-air. Now, Current, I would describe this as a relatively close-in weapon for anti-ballistic missile defense and anti-swarm. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Very fast missile, nearing hypersonic at Mark 4.5. Maximum altitude, and this is not a typo, 27 nautical miles. Maximum range, 27 nautical miles lateral. Warhead, 86 pounds. And guidance, active radar homing. Fox 3, it has its own radar on board. Next, RIM-66, SM-2 MR for medium range. Now, we do have SM-2 in core game. The SM-2s we have in core game are not real missiles. They're kind of hybrid missiles. I'm assuming they've had to do that because they sell this product and it's, license reasons. Well, we're not selling anything, so we can make whatever missiles we want. We've made the actual missile that's used, the SM-2 MR Block 3. Type, anti-air. Speed, Mach 3.5. Maximum altitude, 13 nautical miles. Maximum range, 86 nautical miles. Warhead, 137 pounds. And it's an older missile with semi-active radar homing. Fox 1 guidance. This would be used for anti-missile and anti-aircraft defense. Next, the next generation, RIM-174 SM-6 ER. These are the longer-ranged standard missiles that are going to be, again, for anti-missile and anti-aircraft, and will be slowly replacing SM-2. They're much more expensive, so the replacement rate is going to be fairly slow. The Block 1 edition, anti-air, Mach 3.5 steel, maximum altitude 18 nautical miles, maximum range an incredibly impressive 130 nautical miles, which is going to change the shape of our naval battles by a lot. Warhead, 141 pounds. Active radar homing. Note also, SM-2, MR and SM-6 ER in real life can also be used for anti-ship. You guys asked us to make them anti-ship, and we did. Now, the problem is the way the core game works is the ships have a hit point type system. They don't have proper damage models, and what we found is that these small frag type warheads on these missiles, when they did hit the ships, caused almost no damage, about 1% of the hit bar, meaning you'd have to fire all of your SM-6s just to do 30% damage to a small ship. So the way the game works does not support the anti-ship use of SM-6 and SM-2. Hence, we've removed that function and we're just using them for air-to-air until further notice. Next, the mighty RGM-161, and you're getting in the realm of really expensive missiles here. I think over $8 million per shot. SM-3 Block 1, ballistic missile defense missile, speed nearly Mach 9, maximum altitude. No, it's not a mistake. It is 243 nautical miles, well into space. Maximum range, nearly 500 nautical miles. Warhead, actually relatively small but precise, 70 pounds. And I didn't actually realise this, semi-active radar homing. I thought they were Fox 3s. That's interesting. Next, Tomahawk. We already have Tomahawks in game, but we have the RGM-109C. We now have an E Tomahawk Block 4 cruise missile, anti-land only. Yes, I'm aware that you wanted Tomahawk version 5, but we're not confident Tomahawk version 5 is going to be in service by 2025, which is what we're upgrading it to 2025. With a range of, well, you might as well say infinite, bigger than any of the DCS maps out of there. Warhead, a massive 1,000 pounds, and it is GPS guided. Finally, dedicated anti-ship. RGM-84 Lima. We currently have the RGM-84 Delta in game. This is improved Block 2 Lima version, anti-ship. Range 67 nautical miles, which is a lot more than the 40 or so nautical miles of the D version that we have in game at the moment. Warhead, Neon 500 pounds, GPS, anti-ship terminal radar guidance. The Arleigh Burke Flight 3. This stuff here is basically the same. It uses an AN Spy 6 radar. It's a better radar than the modernized Ticonderoga. Same cannon, same phalanx, same gun, but it is only one of them, obviously. Interestingly, because it's the destroyer, Mark 32 surface vessel torpedo tubes, which can actually work. AN SPG-62 fire control radar, 3 of them, animated. Mark 20 Mod 1 EOSS. We don't carry as many missiles as the Tico because it's a smaller ship. We've got 32 SM-2MR, 24 SM-6 ER, SM-3 BMD 16, 8 Tomahawk Block 4s, and 64 ESSMs. In each case, we've got the Legacy version as well. So, Legacy version Tico, Modernized Tico. Legacy Arleigh Burke 2A, Modernized Flight 3. First, let's use the cruise missiles. In-game, Blue Coalition. I'm going to go into my Combined Arms Game Master slot. First thing I'm going to do is ask them to fire their long-range cruise missiles at a target. In fact, I'm going to do this while paused so I can time it all at once. You, add target. Some conveniently placed Russian vehicles down here. Pang. And then you, sir. This way we get to compare Legacy versus Modernized. Add target. Right. Fire. Tomahawk version 4s. They fire them from VLS. Hatch open. Pow! And he's off. Let's have a look at the models while we're paused. That there is the BGM-109E with booster. That there is the C. Note the different intake system. Back to the E. Go. Alright, now these things can go freaking halfway around the world, but they're just going down the road. I get to control how many missiles it fires. Okay, an E is going in first. Pop-up attack. 1,000-pound warhead. It's going to make mincemeat of these suckers. Bang! Ha ha ha! Ladies and gentlemen, I give you new Tomahawk. Next, guns. Alrighty then, let's be a Tico CMP. Tico, become Tico. And look, you get to be the different gun turrets. Press Quebec. Pow, 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 pow. So I can use some 50 cal or whatever the heck this is. Get some. Get some. Look, and I can do damage and shoot stuff. This is technically multiplayer compliant as well, although it'll probably be a bit buggy at the moment. But you can see where this is going, right? We've got a 25mm cannon. Pow. Pow, pow, pow. You can see what I mean about the hit point system coming in now. Get some, baby. Phalanx 1B. Always impressive. If you're wondering why it doesn't fire at the crosshair, it's because I've got track IR on, so the crosshair doesn't mean anything. Pretty impressive, huh? I think so. You can use this in radar guided mode so that it will shoot down moving targets, and the AI can use it as well, obviously. Look at me smash that tug up. I would not want to be in that freaking tug right now. Oh, that freaking Tico. Oh, I could do this all day. Or we can move on to the Mark 45 if you really got to blow everything in the room up. Stand by. Friend, prepare to get gassed. Get some, baby. Ah, it's satisfying. That's a really tough tug. A really tough tug. Wow, look how fast this thing fires. Smashed. Right, that is using the cannons, and obviously you can use them in the other ways that they used to be able to use. Next, anti-ship capability with the Modernized Harpoon. The Legacy Tico had a range of about 40 nautical miles. The new one, about 17 nautical miles. Let's put that in practice. This Kuznetsov here is 70 miles now. Let's go. Oh, missiles are already out. In fact, let's roll that back and watch it again. They fire from these launchers at the back here. Pow! Off he goes. Pause. Let's take a look at him. You can see we've now got the extender booster at the back to give it that extra range. After that, it's not going to be much different from a D model. Carrier defense itself. Lovely stuff. Next, the mighty SM-3, hugely expensive anti-ballistic missile defense. Well, it just so happens we've got some ballistic missiles set 100 miles up over here. I give you a really bad Scud, but technically a ballistic missile. Oh, there he goes. Ha-ha! As you can see, it is very high and very fast, about probably Mark IV and 90,000 feet. Let's check our ships. When they detect that they are in threat of this missile, well, I think the parameters are above 90,000 feet and inbound. Oh, there they go. Stop! First SM-3 of the day. That is the missile model with its huge booster section. Can you see its nozzles at the back there? Really fast and impressive missile. And look how they go straight up. Then turn. And then track the ballistic missile. And they've got to be extremely accurate as well, because you don't carry many of these incredibly expensive weapons on board. 5,000 knots, probably Mark 8 or something like that. 90,000 feet, 100,000 feet, 110, 120, 130, 140,000 feet. And heading down. And let's see how many it takes to kill a Scud. Pause. Where's the Scud? There it is. You're about to see an extremely fast closure rate. Wow, it went so fast it knocked my camera out of orbit. There they are. There, that was a Mark 10 intercept. So that is the new SM-3. Next, SM-2MR and SM-6 ER. So we've got a bomber at about 140 miles inbound. When he gets within 130 nautical miles, these guys are going to be alerted. They're going to point their fire control radars at him. They're going to start launching. They're going to use their SM-6s first, obviously, for the longer range. Then when they get closer, they're going to start using their SM-2s. Now, the way current program them is to give them some creative license about which missiles they use when. So the AI, if you like, will decide exactly when things happen. I'm just going to speed forward a bit. There, do you see the spy there? Or the fire control radar, sorry. Turn around and track the target. That is what is going to allow the missiles to fire initially. And there goes an SM-6. Cut. That there is an SM-6 is very similar to a SM-3 in terms of body, isn't it, Current?
Yeah, that's correct. They use the same body and booster.
Now, the fact that it goes much slower, is that simply because it doesn't travel as high or the same type of trajectory?
Yeah.
So it's going to go high. It's going to go maybe up to 100,000 feet, but not, you know, mega high like the SM-3. There's another one. You can see it's dumped its booster section, which is all super cool and animated. 30,000 feet. Peaked at around Mark 3.5, Mark 4. 60,000 feet, 70,000 feet, 80,000 feet, 90,000 feet, just touching on 90, and down it comes at about Mark 2-ish. Right, here's the bomber. The bomber's invincible because I want to get multiple shots on the bomber. Can we get a first hit? Now, it's impressive to see a missile hitting at this long range. That said, it's got its own seeker head or its own radar in the front of these missiles. So at this point, it's actually tracking on its own radar rather than the ship's radar. All right, come on, first time hit. Only the best, only the best. Bang. Nice. And it will wait until these first missiles have died or you know, done their job before it fires anymore, because it's firing in again now. What it used to do is to fire multiple at once, which just is a complete waste of missiles, to be honest. Right, we're going to speed that up now because it's just going to keep pumping out SM-6s now until it gets within SM-2 range. But again, it has creative license. It's up to the ship looking at what threats it's going to face before it starts changing missiles. And the amount of threats is really important as well. That all comes into play, as we'll see a little bit later. SM-2s are up. It's SM-2MR. Range, just under 90 miles.
Yeah, they don't have the booster.
You don't have the booster, right. Is that the reason why they don't have the same range?
Yeah, most, yeah.
All right, not a great deal to look at there. In fact, we might as well see it through. Up to 50,000 feet. And... pew. Now, this is the interesting thing. What will determine the fact when it starts launching the enhanced Sea Sparrow as well? Theoretically, it should launch it on this target here. It probably won't, and we'll discuss why that happens. It's all about how much threat the ship feels in. At the moment, it doesn't feel much threat. It doesn't understand, obviously, that this guy's invincible. It just thinks it's one bomber. And so it'll just put about the minimum amount of missiles, some SM-2s and some SM-6s. Bear in mind that there's, well, probably 4 ships firing now. That's why so many missiles are going out. But look, no enhanced Sea Sparrows. And that's because it doesn't feel enough of a threat to use them. It's not being overwhelmed by a giant bunch of drones or vampires. But what happens if we did overwhelm it with a bunch of drones or vampires? Well, watch this. This time we're going to be super naughty. We're going to spawn in 10 bombers right next to the ships, kind of 15 miles away. The ships are going to realize, oh, this is actually a really big threat. I'm going to employ ESSM. Let's see that work now. So it'll match what it uses and how many it fires to the threat. That's kind of modeled in core game, but obviously we've expanded upon that. Here we go. Look at that go. SM-2, SM-2, ESSM's coming out here. If it feels like it's under threat from a drone swarm or something like that, it's going to start pumping out its ESSMs. Look how the plume is angled. That's because we've got TVC. We've got vectored thrust on this ESSMs, which is all modelled. Kind of like a Sidewinder X, which is pretty cool.
They're also a lot faster than SM-2s.
Yes, let's try and get a speed on them. So SM-2 at that point, 2,000 knots. ESSM at that point, 2,500 knots. So, yep, faster. And let's watch the devastation that this causes. Look at them all coming out, responding to the threat. Pang. 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 You're going to get some duplication, so, you know what I mean? Missiles will go for the same planes. The reason for that is because we've not got an Aegis set up down there. Wow, look at that. Hang on. Just got to look at that for a screenshot. That's amazing. I've not set them up as Aegis. If you want them to be Aegis, you've got to put them in the same group. I've just put them as single vessels. Hence, they'll just duplicate on everything because I wanted to show that. Look at that. Very impressive. Right, let's see if it can now take an even harder swarm of vampires. 16 Chinese anti-ship bombers, each with 4 very modern supersonic YJ-12 anti-ship missiles. So that's 48 missiles, all launched completely unrealistically close, but we want to make this guy's work. All right, here we go. YJ's out. Respond. All right, ships, are you going to accept that? I don't think so. Already missiles are going out. Pause, because we can. What's it fired? The SM-2s. It's looked at the threat, relatively close range, all of the missiles in the world, and it thought SM-2, 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 SM-2. Look how quickly they can launch in the VLS. And that's pretty realistic. Quick another check. SM-2, SM-6. No ESSM yet. I guess we're not. So a mixture of SM-2 and SM-6 at the moment. It's just trying to get as many as it possibly can out on the ridiculous, let's face it, amount of vampires.
They want to get the long range missiles out because they have a minimum range before they have to go over to the ESSM.
And these are not normal anti-ship missiles, these are Mark IV plus capable. So these are extremely difficult to take down. Look at them, how they go high. And they'll dive down on top of these missiles. They want to get into the thin air, get as much range as they can. Sorry about the shaky camera. Look at how it disappears when I zoom out. Here they come, they're bending over. Incoming! What's the PK going to be like? I guess we'll have to see. This is untested. I don't think you've run them against YJs, or have you run them against YJs?
Yeah, not in this size.
Yeah, bang! Good PK. But is it enough? I'm just going to pause it. What are they doing? This is all experimental. It's all work in progress at the moment. Right, ESSMs have decided to come out. I wouldn't be surprised if they've shot most of their SM-6s already. So the ESSMs are now coming out for anti-swarm. Are these Fox 1? They're Fox 1, aren't they? I guess they don't need to be Fox 3 because they're close range, right? Or moderately close range.
The ESSM is an active...
is it? Oh, sorry, I keep getting mixed up. Wow, look at them all coming out now. Look at that. It's just a whole mixture of everything now. Let's see how the ESSMs do. Oh, much better. Are they going to stop these missiles? No, obviously not, because there's 48 of them and they started right next to them. But they're having a damn good go at it. Ah, how impressive is that? Phalanx 1Bs will be shooting soon. ESSM up. Bang! First got through. Let's do a pause. How many got through? Oh, almost none of them are the 48. That is so improved over the original legacy vessels. If you remember, the last time we used YJs, we had 40 of them, and 15 legacy ships, and a quarter of them got through. This time we've got more, fired much closer, only a quarter of the less than a quarter of the ships, yet less YJs are getting through. That shows the improved technology, mainly the ESSM. I'm just watching what's killing. It's the ESSM that's killing, which I guess you would probably expect in real life. And at the end of that, these guys didn't take any hits, kills. However, I think I may have set them to invincible by accident, so that was probably my fault.
That was pretty cool. I haven't actually tested that many.
Roger. And finally, it wouldn't be a destroyer without torpedoes. These are not fully working in game yet, obviously. Otherwise, we would have used torpedoes thus far. But we can get them working in an old school, unguided fashion. So watch this. A freaking torpedo tube, valued viewers. Look at this sucker. Okay, you in my sights, and I'm going to target you. Pick.
Let it acquire, and then
yeah. Pow! Torpedo! Look at it go! Ich bin ein torpedo. I'm coming for you. So, like I was saying, we've basically reverted to World War II, early World War II, where we have to kind of guess the ship. It's going to move, isn't it? I'm going to miss. No,
so this is most and least modern shipyard now.
Right? It's going to be very embarrassing if I miss this, Current. You know I don't like being embarrassed. Yeah! Gotcha! Value viewers, we have technically working torpedoes, although you probably wouldn't want to use that in a modern ship battle. But excellent work done here by Current, as you'll agree. Every time he makes something, it's worryingly good. We're going to use them on battles, debug these ships, and, you know, we'll probably find bugs in multiplayer and stuff, we always do, and get them finished off. Anything from you, Current?
No, I'm happy.
I hope you enjoyed that, and see you later.